You get away with it again. What the hell happened to that screen?
The devil took it. Guess who's back?
Back again. Shady
again.
is back. Okay, yeah, you immediately captured the whatchamacallit.
The audio?
Yeah, sound great. All right. Welcome to Insert Name Here. Brought to you in full Technicolor and living sound with the dulcet tones of the gorgeous, the lonely, the intrepid,
Cry.
Alejandro the Great,
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
and me, the unloved,
the unwanted.
the unwanted, the cold-blooded, what's it called? Lyrical, spiritual, actual, factual, helter skelter.
Polar saucer.
Anyway,
I'm trying to guess my Facebook password. Thank you.
it's me, Malachi Unique, and we're here again before fucking election.
Before the election, guys, the most exciting. It's the most wonderful. I forgot the lyrics as soon as I started singing.
The worst fucking time of the year. We hate to do this every time we do this, and it always fucking sucks.
It's very funny. Elections are truly one of my least favorite parts of doing the show.
I hate elections.
It's my least favorite part.
Politics.
I find it so, I obviously find it interesting to talk about it, but, to really talk about it, I don't actually like it, which is, it is what it is. It's a part of the game.
But, we've been gone for a minute,
And we'll be back very soon.
Yeah, next week,
fully,
of course, we'll come back for the thing.
For the recap special.
And then we'll be back, probably.
I guess we can get started. I'm sorry, I'm going to clear my throat a lot. I'm kind of sick.
Let me clear my throat.
Or I'm not sick, actually. I'm recovering, whatever. Same thing. Same thing to me. If I'm still coughing, I'm still sick. But whatever. This country doesn't believe that. So Election Day is next week. It's November 8th. Tuesday. Obviously, it's Super Tuesday, It'd be on Tuesdays. If it wasn't this week, it would have been next week. Whatever. It's November 8th. If you haven't registered to vote, you're probably shit out of luck in most places because we don't have same-day registration like we should.
Boo.
But we're here to talk to you about the most important things on the ballot. And it is who you're going to vote for governor, because I don't think you have more than one option, to be quite honest. Because if you vote for Jeff Deal, please just don't watch this. Actually, no, you can vote for Jeff Deal, but as long as you vote yes on the other questions, I don't care as much. But if Jeff Deal became our governor, I would laugh. He won't, but I would laugh. So the most important part first is to vote for Maura Healey, if you want.
Not if you want.
If you want to support, hopefully, some positive change, I don't know what to tell you. Governors have not been the best thing for the state of Massachusetts. So I'm not going to lie to you and say it's going to be a great thing. I'm just going to say it's good if you vote on Tuesday and Maura is your vote. But more importantly, there are 4 questions on the ballot. Maura Healey, importantly. There are 4 ballot questions.
More importantly, there are 3 ballot questions. 4 ballot questions. What's the 4th one?
The 4th one is driving.
What's the 3rd one?
The 3rd one is the liquor.
What's the 2nd one?
I'm gonna kill you.
I know.
I'm gonna kill you.
All
right, let's go through all 4 questions.
What's the one I don't know?
All right, it's dentist, liquor, driving. Let me do it in the proper order. So the first one is the fair share amendment. The second question is the dentist. The third is the liquor. And the 4th is the cars. So let's go through quickly all 4 and why you should be voting. In theory, yes on all 4. But most importantly, yes on question 1 and yes on question 4. I don't frankly give a fuck how you vote on question 2 or 3. But question 1 is the fair share amendment, which they've been trying to pass for, I believe, 7 years. Tax the rich. Need I say more?
Yeah, they would pay, what's it, like they would pay whatever percentage on the dollar after $1 million or something like that, right? And y'all are all poor, so what do you care? You're talking about making $1 million a year. If you don't make, somebody be like, my house costs $2.5 million. Do you make $1 million a year? If so, if not, shut the fuck up, because it doesn't affect you.
And are you selling your house every day?
If you sell your house every year, I don't know how that works.
And I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for you. If you sell a
$2
million house and you get taxed a little more, I quite honestly don't care. So, vote yes on question 1.
Yeah, just like, because we're this state full of rich people,
full of millionaires
and all that stuff, and look at our public services, look at our MBTA, look at our public schools in a lot of places, like, and then especially in Boston, where people have a bunch of their little nonprofits, and they're just like, look at us colleges, look at us, nonprofits not paying any taxes, and we suffer for it. And you know what? Rich people should pay their fair share, bro. If, like, people be like, well, you wouldn't even take away the money they made. Bro, they take away the money I made. Why am I paying more percentage of my income than they're paying in percentage of their income? Think with your brain, bro. How does that make sense? How is that fair to me? How is that fair to anybody? They should pay their fair share. Literally. That's why they call it that. That's what they should pay. I don't know how it's my second monitor, though. It's kind of bothering me.
Hello, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
So that's the Fair Share Amendment. If you literally just go on the Fair Share website, I think it's fairshare.org, ? That's right.
No.
.com. I don't know. It'd be weird things. They have a Fair Share website. Just Google Fair Share.
Fair Share fair.
Just Google it. Read about it. I don't even think
it's like Fair Share Math or something.
Yeah, something stupid.
I'll find if I had my other screen.
I was just on it. That's the worst part. I was just on the website today.
Fair Share May.
I'll put it on the thingy.
Put it on the thingy.
We are back.
We are live. We are back.
So that's the Fair Share Amendment. Vote yes. It's a pretty straightforward, to me, question. Now, if you're one of those people that are like, but they already mess up what they do with our taxes already, that's why we have to follow up and make sure that our next governor, the administration, our legislators actually make changes to our tax code so that things go to where they're supposed to go.
I can't wait to get my $12 back from the surplus. I don't understand how we have a surplus when we don't have a surplus. we literally don't have a surplus. Like,
the one thing I know is that Charlie Baker is a scammer. That's all I know.
Charlie Baker, like, he
said, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna give y'all $8, because I think that's the average that they said most people would be receiving. If you don't know what we're talking about, according to our state government, there is a surplus, and they're gonna give us money back because of a tax code law from like 100+ years ago that said that that's what they're supposed to do.
After they threw the tea in the harbor, they made this law, and we're still following it today. Like, the hell, like, the richest people are gonna get like $22,000.
Yes, so and that is the problem.
Give me $22,000. I'll spend it. That money will get reinvested back into the community in so many ways. Give me $22,000. This is ridiculous.
So that's the Fair Share.
Disgust me.
Question 2 is about dental stuff. In conclusion, this is a thing. If you don't know, ballot questions tend to generally be very confusing on purpose. And it's not really on purpose, but it is on purpose. And so what I'm going to say is that basically, and Evan George on Bostopia did a good recap on all 4 questions, more in depth. And then what I'm going to give you, I'm going to just give it to you how I know it. We screwing over the insurance companies, and I like that. Because dental insurance companies are screwing us over constantly. And so they should be screwed over in a way that positively impacts us. And These would just also be setting standards that health insurance companies already have set on them, but dental insurance companies don't.
And we'd be the first in the country. Whoa.
So voting yes could be a positive. Now, will they likely find a way to charge you more? Yes. But did my car insurance company also find a way to charge me more? How? I don't know. So,
which is pretty ridiculous for the fact that, like, clearly you're not reinvesting most of the money you already earned, so you're making a wild profit already. Like, you're like, oh, we're gonna charge you more, so our 17% is more. Like, huh? That's how much you're supposed to be making. Shut up! That's stupid.
Dental insurance already a scam. Like, the fact that people avoid getting dental care in this country as a whole, but also in this state where we have some of the literal best dental, like, schools in the country, and people, like, avoid getting dental care because it's too expensive and their insurance doesn't cover enough. Yeah, I think maybe it's time you put a little pressure on them. I think it's okay.
No, give the insurance companies money.
More money.
They need more money.
Because insurance companies deserve money.
They need more money. They're the most important resource in our society, insurance companies.
So that
Don't you love being on the phone with them?
If I ever had to call my insurance company, I literally wouldn't. I would just give up. If I can't figure it out on the website, I literally just give up. The system was down to pay for when I went to the doctor the other day. And I'm like, yeah, have fun billing me because I'm never going to remember. I remember they billed me once, like, early this year. It took me 4 months to pay because I just forgot. I said, this is not a real bill. This is a fake bill. You barely looked at me. This is a fake bill. Anywho, that's why healthcare should be free. Whatever. Question 3 is about liquor. But not in the good way, like we should be talking about happy hour.
We hoped.
It's yet again another ballot question that is quite a bit confusing, to be quite honest. It's about opening the number of liquor licenses, but also limiting it. The way that it was also presented is basically it's supposed to be beneficial for small businesses, to make it harder for big liquor stores to have as many licenses and open as many chains. Obviously, people have different opinions on that, just like they have different opinions on the Fair Share Amendment, like the cranberry farmer. That's actually not a farmer. All I'm saying is, based off of the information that I have, I would vote yes on 3 as well. And the last one is personally the most important to, I think, the safety of the state of Massachusetts, which is question 4, which is on, oh my gosh, how do they phrase it?
Undocumented folks.
I was going to call them illegal aliens, and I have not used that word in a long time. It's because that's what they've been calling them.
The issue that I have with this ballot question is that it shouldn't be a fucking ballot question. It passed in the state house. It should be law already. So it's ridiculous that we have to go and vote, but we have to go and vote to say, yes, of course, undocumented people should be able to get licenses, because this is my thing. This is, okay, this is, I think, one of the fundamental principles of, like, politics and society is that people are gonna do shit anyway, bro. They be like, oh, we can't give them licenses because we give them licenses, that's gonna...
They're gonna vote.
I'm like...
Why would I vote?
But they're already driving, though. Like, if you, like, what happens when you get into an accident with someone who's undocumented, who doesn't have insurance because they can't have insurance, who doesn't have a license because they can't have a license, who hasn't taken the driving test because they can't take the driving test, what are you gonna do? Like, doesn't it make more sense for folks to be able to get their license, to just do what they, like, live their life? I mean, like, the thing is also, like, to, like, register to vote, like, you gotta, like, register to vote.
If you're an undocumented person, why would you register to vote?
If you're literally undocumented, like, as Alondra said, illegal alien, I don't think that you necessarily, I mean...
No, like, there's no I mean. Because why would you do that? Exactly. Okay. Vote yes on it.
Like, the thing about voter fraud is that it doesn't happen. That's the thing about it. And I don't understand why we continue to talk about it as if it's something that happens at any significant, like, even infinitesimally significant level. It does not. Like, it happens, like, once every 10 years. There's somebody who accidentally votes twice. Or maybe a dead person got a ballot. Like... Or the Republicans just try to send a bunch in and everybody's like, hey. Like, why y'all doing that? What's the meaning?
Yeah, guys, it's a no. Question 4 is literally a no-brainer. It also did reveal, like Malaysia said, how, like, insane it is. Because it took, like, I think 17 years? Or around that range. 15 to 17 years to get this measure passed. Like, to get driver's license for undocumented people passed. That was 17 years of people fighting and committing themselves to this battle. And it took, like, a couple months for people to get the, like, the reversal ballot question. I don't know the right way to phrase that.
Yeah.
To get that on the ballot because it takes less signatures. Let's listen to this. It takes less signatures to try and do a reversal of something than it takes to get the signatures to get on the ballot. That does not make sense. It should be the same amount of signatures to get on the ballot as it is to try and remove something from our.
And that literally is like, we don't want progressive policies to happen, and if one accidentally slips by, we can get rid of it. That's what that is, like. And I just feel like this fight has been going on so long. It's like, I don't even know if this is like, do people even want it? I know they do. But it's like, this is my thing. It's like, this passed. This should not be a question, an argument.
And there's no, like, even, whatchamacallit, the Suffolk County soon-to-be DA, Kevin Hayden, endorsed yes on 4. Most police sheriffs and things endorse it. You want to know why? Because you can track these stupid people. You can track the drivers. They're not stupid people, but they're stupid people usually. Drivers are horrible in this state. You can track them and find out where they live. And you know what that makes easier? Policing people. That's part of the reason why I kind of don't like it. But it is safer for us. That's what I was
going to say too. That's what I don't like about it. And the other thing is, if you're undocumented, you're driving a car, a police officer pulls up behind you, you don't have a license. Do you stop the car?
Or do you
try to do some Fast and Furious? I don't know. I've never been in this situation, but I'm pretty sure that this just makes it safer in general.
And in states that already have this, on the rally that I went to the other day, they actually talked about it. There are 2 states, I believe. Can't quote them on the top of my head. You can Google it. One state noticed a reduction in the number of hit and runs. Do you want to know why?
Because people can't stay there because they're like, oh my God, they're going to call ICE and deport me.
So, as you can see, the logic is there as to why you should vote yes on 4. I don't think you needed... That sounded like it hurted.
Yeah, that was strong.
That sounded like it hurted. That's yes on 4. So 1 through 4, I say yes. Just go yes.
Vote yes on all 4 questions. Mine as well.
And 1 through 4, and 1 and 4, the most important.
Yeah, 1 and 4. Like, if you're gonna, I know they're overwhelming to look at. If you're gonna skip questions, don't skip 1 and don't skip 4. It's good that they're 1 and 4, because then first and last.
Yeah. And remember always to turn your ballot if you need to, depending on how many races are in your specific district.
Just flip your ballot. Just check.
Just always look in the back. There might be stuff you don't know, especially with 4 ballot questions: governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, DA, depending on where you are. There will be a lot of things on the ballot this year, so just make sure that you're flipping your ballot always. Not just this year, but every year, flip your ballot. Just make sure nothing's on it. And read it.
Gotta flip your ballot. Woo.
And another thing, it's not for a lot of people, but if you are in Plymouth County, which is like Brockton, Plymouth, fucking everywhere in Plymouth County. I don't know. You know where you are if you live in Plymouth County. Our homie, Rasan Hall, is running for DA.
Yeah, y'all better vote for Rasan Hall. I wish I had the sun. The sun's in my room.
Oh,
y'all better vote for Rasan Hall.
So, vote for Rasan Hall for Suffolk County DA because I wish.
Plymouth County. I wish it was Suffolk County.
Plymouth County DA.
Yeah.
Vote for him because the incumbent has been there for 20... What is it? Longer than we have been... I thought it was longer than we've been alive. No? Or...
Maybe.
Excuse me, 20-something years he's been in office.
Least 24.
And that is a problem. Me and Malaysia believe that people should not be in office that long. That is actually a crime. A failure of democracy, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
That somebody is in office that long, especially a DA. So.
Yeah. Yeah, vote for Hassan Hall. I should have gave you the big sign and made you put it in your yards. Should have made y'all come to these events and give him money and stuff already. Vote for Hassan.
So the homies vote for Hassan. Check out his website if you want to learn.
Wives gotta vote for Hassan.
Anybody that you know that lives in Plymouth County, vote for Hassan Hall. Thank you.
Hassan Hall.
Hall for DA.
Hall for DA. I was trying to say it.
That reminded me of
No, don't. No. I think about it often. My shame.
That's
my shame.
That was the one time you have shame for the 10,000 times that I have not been able to read in my life.
I just think that was mad funny, bro. They have weird names sometimes. How was I supposed to know? Okay, because usually people put a 4 and not 4.
That is a callback, I guess, to one time when Malaysia read a sign wrong. But to be quite honest with you, I would also have read the sign wrong if it were not for me being like, that's weird.
It said 4DA. I said 4DA. That was like 2017. No.
Oh wow, we're old now. How funny.
Me, I'm like, wait. They said 4D. I said. Santiago like. We were cracking up at my foolishness. That was funny. That was
to this day.
That was a good time. Yeah, y'all should go. What's it called? Y'all should go bully Leon Rivera onto like being on the show properly again.
Yeah, I should have texted him.
Y'all should like go to his Twitter or something.
Tag him
and bully him. Elon Musk has Twitter now. It's Wild Wild West out there. Y'all could go just say a bunch of bad words in this. I'm not gonna say what I wanted to say, but y'all think about what I have wanted to say and go say that to him on Twitter.
All right, now we're gonna go into some Boss Polly talk. Some Bosty. I live in Bosty. Some Boston City Council mess because unfortunately for the past, basically since all of the black people got elected into office, the white people in the Boston City Council have lost their goddamn minds. That's effectively the best way to put it, to be quite honest.
Forget the city councils, the whole city, basically. Like, half of y'all aunties and uncles and sisters, people's sister, being weird, threatening people, being racist. Y'all know, because on Twitter, they've been wilding on Twitter. I be laughing, though. There was this one cop that I really want to say, like, bitch, get the fuck out of my mentions, you corny bitch. I don't want you. Nobody asks you to come and give your opinion. Police lie. That's the one thing that we can count on is police lying. Okay? Y'all don't solve crimes. You can't tell me. The Boston Police Department does not solve crimes. Come on. Shut the fuck up. Don't come to my mentions talking stupidness.
Yeah, if you ever want to see stupidness,
go to my mentions, bro. Yeah. That's where it be. And I'm just sitting there, not my mentions, obvious nonsense mentions. That's where the dumbness be. Like, get out of here.
So, there has been a lot of drama. There was a redistricting process in which, specifically Frank Baker, Ed Flynn, Aaron Murphy had specific issues with. Partially because it was going to divide certain regions up, specifically in the
Yeah, it was gonna divide Southie. It was gonna divide Chinatown from the South End, which Ed Flynn, he loves his Chinatown business people. I don't think he loves the poor people of Chinatown. He loves his Chinatown business people. Yeah. So he was like, I don't want. And then our favorite Funky Frank.
Frank was keeping it funky.
Frank has been funky like an old batch of collard greens, okay? Frank has been very funky recently.
Frank,
Hi, Calvin.
There's a reason there's an what we're gonna say is the intro to why there's an Irish flag behind us.
Yes. Not only because we have our Bostonian heritage, and we're Irish. Yes. At least a month of the year.
I was like, not because we're Black Irish.
We're Black.
Like every Irish teacher.
Not because I have
an
Irish twin.
But because the war between Catholics and Protestants is back.
It's back. I told you. It's 17. Did I not tell you? It's after they dumped the tea in the harbor. That's where we at, though. Like, we got old tax laws. We got Protestants versus Catholics. I thought JFK solved that one.
You know, there was a funny tweet. I have to find it at some point. But somebody said something about Joe Biden's Catholics versus Trump's Catholics, and I almost screamed.
Trump's Catholic?
I wanted to run. No, he's not. That was the funniest part. I think. Please, I just have to find it.
I'm like, what?
I have to find it because it was really funny. But the reason we're laughing so hard is because during this redistricting process, Frank Baker was.
Let me just read the quote. If the quote speaks for itself, okay.
I have to find it. Oh my god.
It's not in our chat. Where's my phone?
Oh.
The quote speaks for itself, baby. That's that thing. Frank Baker. It's kind of scary a little bit, to be honest. I think he needs some help. Like, allegedly, no offense or whatever, but like he needs help. Like, mental help or emotional help, really. Okay, he's okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to find it. Okay, they're all talking about this process right here. They're viewing this exercise as an all-out assault on Catholic life in Boston, and it's not lost on them that the person leading this charge is a Protestant from. I'm sorry, Irish people. I don't know how to say that place. Because I don't know which letters I should ignore and turn into something. Wherever Liz Breeden is from, in Northern Ireland, where there be Protestants. Frank Baker's trying to start it up again, bro. He's trying to start the war again.
Whatchamacallit? The point was, he was mad and the whites were mad because they're going to break up districts. But the reason why these districts have to be broken up is because they're growing too much. They are far too big. And districts have a certain number in which they're supposed to be to basically ensure that you're actually properly, like,
you've represented.
If you have an overrepresented population in one district, it actually creates an imbalance, which is
what they want.
And which is what we do, like, which is why we have a redistricting thing like every couple of years in other levels of government, because we're supposed to be balanced and not have overwhelming majorities in different areas.
That's why they count the census.
So, but they were trying to. Yes, gerrymandering is the best word to use. But really, they were truthfully trying to be racist. They were trying to maintain their positions of power. And it was really weird to watch.
Especially, like, Frank Baker had me laughing because he was trying to be like, oh, I represent a bunch of people of color. What are you going to make, like, an all-white district? And da-da-da-da-da, whatever he's saying. And, like, people from his district are like, you're literally the reason that people of color in your district can't have anything good. Like, we don't want you. Like, you don't represent those people. Like, you might be their representative, but you don't represent them. Come on. Like, really?
There was a clear struggle with understanding that while he was elected to represent the district, it's not his district. He does not own the district. There will be other city councilors after him, and there were city councilors before him. And I think there is a slippage in the brainage where he was refusing to understand that
too much communion wine.
He's
the wafers got his brain.
The body of Christ got him twisted. The body and blood of Christ got him leaning in brain. Because it's just it was just a clear example of how the white counselors, unfortunately, in our city are still very far behind and are not progressives. Not that Frank Baker ever has assumed to be a progressive, but to me, Ed Flynn, to me, is the best example of this because, people let him become the city council president. They let him become the city council president instead of Ricardo Arroyo. I know it was a bunch of different people that were the options. I know. Whatever. And I know part of it was Ricardo was going to run for DA. Whatever.
Oof.
Whatever. They let him become the president. And I know everything is a political strategy, but Ed Flynn is not a person you want to be in that seat. Because when push comes to shove, he will side with his people and his people only. He will not side with the side of equity, equality, or anything that is actually proper in terms of creating districts that are balanced.
And he's like dense. Like he's he's not really movable because he's dense. Like he's not somebody you go talk to and you convince. He's convinced. He think what he think.
Like
and that's it.
And it was
unless maybe you're a Chinatown business person. that's who you probably have the best chance.
No, I'm deadass. We're gonna make a bingo for city council hearings and just Boss Polly in general.
I'm about to do I'm about to make a drinking game that y'all can all purchase.
It's gonna be a bingo and a drinking game.
ObviousNonsense.com.
Because the way that they will frame everything around the same people, ridiculous. Which is why like this Irish Protestants versus Catholics came to be about, is because they'll pick one group. Frank Baker decided the priest in the Catholic Church was his focal group for this redistricting battle.
That's what a ridiculous target population.
I was like, a population with a religious group that is decreasing more and more. Whatever. So, yep, I believe the map, which is Ricardo's, or the NAACP's / Ricardo's and Bradine's passed, which was good. But it was a very foolish city council hearing, as they all have been, because they're letting Ed Flynn, who is the president of the city council, is letting Frank Baker get away with stuff that he should not be getting away
Literally
with.
Talking out of turn, insulting people, being belligerent. Yeah, and Ed Flynn is like, he's vague, like in the head, he's dense. He's not really here. He might be in the clouds. He might be in the stars. He might be underground. We don't know where Ed Flynn is.
We don't know.
Ed Flynn doesn't know where Ed Flynn is.
And we should be asking more of these people, because what a shame it is to have the redistricting come to such a conclusion. Such a battleground over not even the important issues. Like, redistricting is one of the most important issues when it comes to voting and the way we vote. And, like, who has power in the city? Where's the power congregated? Like, that's a good word sometimes to use. It's important. And so to see it become this drama-filled cycle of, like, Protestants versus Catholics, because, and and issues about race from, like, people like Aaron Murphy and Frank Baker and Ed Flynn bringing it up. It's very disgusting. And it should not be something that happens in the Boston City Council. It also just speaks to why Boston continues to have issues of race, because it's evident. It's literally everywhere throughout our political system still. And we have people that will continue to uphold these systems and ensure that they continue. But thankfully they lost this battle. This is the one time that they actually lost. But it's importance of voting for actual progressive.
And just pay attention to what they're
counselors.
doing. Also, you know, pay attention to hearings, pay attention to everything going on. Like, you know, like,
Literally.
just get involved. Like, you can't just elect people. I'm sorry, ignore me doing this. I have to do it. It's compulsive. You can't just elect people and like, just let them be and expect them to do what you need them to do. Like, they're not gonna do what you need them to do. Nope, none of them.
You have to pressure them.
Like,
Bully them. Bully them with no slurs or racial comments, please. Just bully them like me and Malaysia do. We're good bullies.
Just call them funky and stuff. Like, what does that even mean? Am I saying he's a good dancer? Am I saying he smells strange? We don't know. He just got a 70s vibe. He kind of does. He's like Miami Vice.
He was definitely giving me bussing. like if somebody had, like, I don't know why it would be black and white, but you know when everybody makes everything black and white for something that was not definitely black and white.
Bro, they made all those newspapers, because newspapers were black and white, bro. You see pictures of the freaking, like, 1981 they're like dressed like fucking Run DMC and it's black and white.
It's gonna be black and white, and if you had put it black and white, if you had just like taken all the black people out, basically, it would be just a video from when people were complaining about busing. And I think that tells you everything you need to know about why Frank Baker was literally cooked. And why you must pay attention to what the city council does. Because a lot happens there. And this is one of the few areas where the city council actually has a lot of power. Because maps matter. Is there anything else in the drama that mattered to talk about? Not really. City council is just a mess. We have to continue bullying them and watching them. That's it. That's the conclusion for that part.
Chronic drama. And
now, on to... I don't even know how to do this. We're gonna do, like, a recap of Michelle Obama. Michelle Wu's first year as mayor. November 2nd marked 1 year since she was elected mayor. And November 18th, I believe, will mark 1 year as, like, she was sworn in.
November 2nd, that's when I was doing the electric slide.
Yes.
Or was it November 3rd, whatever day it was. The day I was in there, no food, doing the electric slide.
Yeah, the picture came up on my Google thingy. Photos.
Michelle Wu, feed me.
So it has been 1 year, basically, effectively, and in a week it'll be 1 year of Michelle Wu being mayor. So I wanted to take some time to, first of all, acknowledge that she's been mayor for a year, but to also just discuss what we think she has done well, what she's done poorly, what we think she could do better, and... Is there anything else that could be discussed? And maybe a letter grade we could give her, or a percentage, if we're being fancy. Go.
We should do that for, like, all the city councilors.
Yeah, we should.
We'll do
but I don't be
that
paying attention to a lot of them.
We'll do that, like, next month.
Let's give them the end of the year report card.
Literally.
2022 report card.
Okay, so should we start with, like, good things or start with bad things? Let's start with good things.
Let's give, like, teen empowerment feedback. Let's do a good thing and a bad thing.
Okay. So Michelle Wu, good thing she's done. Well, that 23 and the 28, the pilot program extended. That was a lot of her hard work. That was really good. What else?
And I forgot about that somehow.
There's so much that's happened that it's hard to even say. I don't know, man. There's been a lot of stuff.
Some bike lane stuff. She's been somewhat supportive of being... And I don't care what you say about bike lanes. If you come on my page, talk about you hate bike lanes, get the fuck off my page. This is a bike lane bitch page. I might need to put something like that on a shirt or something.
What?
Bike lane bitch page.
What else good? I'm trying to think of specifics. I'm struggling, but she has done some good things for sure. You know me, I always have the annoying things at the top of my mind.
Me too. So, I'm trying to think. It's so hard to think of positive things. I was trying to be balanced, and I was
trying to get balanced.
I can only think of negative things.
I'm trying to be balanced and caring, and whatever else.
I think she's done a good job at appointing a good variety of different people to positions in city.
Oh, you know what I have loved?
City Hall.
The open streets. I loved those.
Open streets, yes. The open streets have been quite successful and fun. I went to one. Didn't you went to 2?
Yeah, I went to 2 of them. JP was huge. Obviously, Rossbury was smaller, but we can fix that. I can fix that.
I could fix that.
What else? Yeah, I think during the Orange Line shutdown, she was very like, hey, wow, this bad. Let's think of some things we can do to alleviate. What else did she do earlier in the year? I'm sorry. I've reached all the things I'm annoyed about now. Because every topic I think about, she's done things I haven't liked a little bit.
Yeah, which was expected.
Which I knew, of course.
We knew what happened. I did like that recently. She vetoed the pay raises that the city council approved for themselves. Sorry, shouldn't laugh that hard. But when you read it out loud like that, it's kind of crazy.
That sounds really funny, bro.
But it was a good thing. Especially in her whatever memo or whatever letter she sent back, she was basically like, staff are still underpaid greatly. You can't really consider giving yourself
a pay raise when your staff are making like $30,000, $40,000 a year.
Let me tell you, I applied one time to be somebody's political something. $48,000 is chips, bro. To deal with the stress of being a city councilor is anything.
That's 100% on all the time. She's also just dealt with a lot of bullshit this year from a lot of people who like don't really have a like political reason to not like. Well, they have a political reason, but it's not like a valid reason. Like it's not like policy is what I meant.
Yeah,
they don't have a policy reason to dislike her. They just want to call her a communist, which she's not. I wish she was. But yeah, do you want to say are there any more good things you want to say before we start talking about the growth areas, if you will?
Yes, the growth areas. What was I going to say? I think in the way that she handled like the protesters and everything, I think she's done a decent job at handling some of that. I still think that's stupid. Like
that's one thing I will name as a really negative. I didn't like the protest like ordinance or whatever, that bans protests between whatever hours. I understand why she did it. I just think that like anything that curtails free speech and protest, like protest is supposed to suck for you, the person being protested. I don't agree with the protestors. I think they're wrong and annoying, and I think that if there was a strong coalition of folks, like, they could have just pressured them to leave her alone. If enough people came out to stand out there with them and do something else, they would have eventually stopped coming. Yeah. Which they kind of did, probably, a little bit more. But, there's never a point where I feel like it's time to limit free speech.
Yeah.
Like, especially protest speech of a political figure. Like, you're the mayor. Like, people should be allowed to protest. I don't care if it's at your house. Like, I understand, like, you have kids. We understand young Michelle Wu and young Michelle Wu, too. We don't want them to be scared. We want them to be able to sleep through the night and be able to wake up and, eat their Wheaties and be ready for school and stuff. But also, like, if you choose to be mayor in a city that's divisive as a woman of color, you know what it was going to be.
It's like the TikTok I saw where this girl was crying. She's like, I knew it was going to be hard. I think she was like an engineer or something. She's like, I knew it was going to be hard, but it's so hard. And I said, I don't know what you want us to tell you. You knew what you signed up for. You knew you were in a city that still does not know how to deal with people of color.
You knew what it was when you signed up.
But it is what it is.
Other things, she hasn't been as transparent as I would hope about a lot of things, especially like police stuff, and she's definitely backed down from abolishing the brick. Ma'am, I'm paying attention to that, ma'am. Get your ass back here and abolish brick.
The zoning stuff that she said, or the development, one of those things she said she was gonna get rid of, and I think she just like cleared the board but didn't get rid of them.
Another thing is that her plan, like her bike plan, didn't show any like routes in the black neighborhoods, basically, and it's not because they're not planning to build there. It's because they want to do a community process. My issue is that part of the process is telling the community that you're gonna do it. Like, so I don't understand. Why you would leave that out. That's why people they start feeling, they start feeling like you can't be trusted. They feel like you keeping shit from them when you spring things on people. And I really think people need to elected officials need to learn to be frank and upfront and say this thing is gonna happen. Now give me your input so it can happen in the way you want it to happen the most. That's most possible. Yeah. But the truth, for instance, Blue Live, they're still barely talking about it. I mean, they had a meeting recently. Mm-hmm. But it's you gotta tell people that bus lane is going in. It's it's a federal grant. It's a federal grant. They have to put a bus lane in. They have to put a bus lane in. And there needs a bus lane on that street. There's so many reasons. Mainly because the 28 is the most traveled bus route in the state. So. But, it's like you have to tell people, be upfront with people, and then so they can understand like what their options are when it comes to advocating for the changes they want. Like, also, people, stop talking about what you don't want and talk about what you want. They be like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. What do you want? They be like, I don't want gentrification. Okay, sound good. No one does.
But
what
do
you want?
But then get very upset when they don't see bike lanes in their region, in their district. What do you want? You don't want bike lanes, but when you don't see it on your map, you get mad.
It's like, if you don't want gentrification, then you should be asking for whatever. Like, asking, I don't know.
Ask for what you want.
I don't know the best, like, housing policy, but asking for rent or doing this or tax break, whatever the fuck it is, right? You know, I have to do more research. You know, I've been off but, like, ask for what you want. Like, if you, like, oh, I need to have a parking space. This person's disabled. There needs to be a disabled parking space. Like, then ask for that. Don't be like, oh, we can't no one's gonna use. That's not helpful. That's useless. And being, you know, not NIMBY, not in my backyard type shit is never gonna work, especially for black people. I don't know what y'all thought, but, like, at least you could get to enjoy the things before you get pushed out. If at the very least, if you're not gonna, you know, fight to stay.
Like, which one is it? Is it, oh, they made this part of the city really beautiful for everyone else, but you fight back against
every time they want to do it here, y'all say no gentrification, and it's a valid concern. Like, that's an issue that I have. It's like, it's a valid concern, and I have the concern because I'm also from here, like, forever. And also, y'all want things, bro. You want the old man to fall every day. Y'all know the old man was going down the stairs. He was falling every day on the bricks, bro. Do y'all want him to keep falling on the bricks, or do you want a better sidewalk? Like, that's not gentrification, bro. Like, this is stuff for us to take, you know, to be able to use. Like, we deserve nice services. Black and brown people deserve nice things. Like, we deserve nice clean roads,
clean air.
We deserve trees. We deserve transportation in different forms and whatever way we want to get around. We deserve that. We deserve to be able to get to our stores. We deserve to be able to spend time outside. We deserve not to fall on the bricks. We deserve, like, and if it comes to, you know, fighting for our community, at least it's a community, like, we're proud of. Like, we're ready to fight. This is something, not to say it wouldn't be worth fighting for, because it always is worth fighting for. But, like, my nigga, like, come on, bro. We know what places be looking like outside. We know what it be smelling like and feeling like. And, like, it could be nicer. And then, and the other thing, I feel like the other thing with the bikes especially is, like, mostly with the little kids, like, they ride bikes. Like, the teenagers, they ride bikes. And that be pissing y'all off. And y'all be very dangerous with those kids. And so, like, some of them won't fall. Some of them won't be in the bike lane. Some of them will still be with y'all. But none of them will get in the bike lane, be more protected, still be doing their wheelies, be happy. Like, I just think that, like, you know, we have to reimagine, you know, life, you know. Let's think outside the box. Let's think outside of our how we've been thinking forever, you know. The other thing is that our planet is gonna explode.
It's gonna die, yeah.
And this is the only option.
I think.
Also, if you don't like traffic, I have to tell you something.
If you don't want everybody driving a car,
that's the only way to stop traffic. By the way, is have less people driving.
Is you need them on the bus.
And if you say bikes slow you down, if you say bikes slow you down, guess what will help with that? A dedicated bike lane, one that you can drive into or park in. And yeah,
if there's a lane for the bikes, there's a lane for the bus, and there's a lane for you. That's good.
The bus too, like, first of all, in a lot of those places, they'll do a double bus bike lane, but the bus, like, stops constantly. It's slow. It's long. People getting on and off. Like, don't y'all want to be separate from that?
No.
Like,
no.
Yeah, I'm just sort of tired of, like, you know, the inability to rethink. And then because then we want to talk about things like violence. We want to talk about things like lack of jobs, this and that. Like, you know, teenagers not having things to do. This is all connected to, like, it's connected to how we get around our city. It's connected to who we vote for. That's all connected. Like, if you want to talk about violence, Like, let's talk about the fact that people be stuck in their neighborhoods. They literally can't go anywhere else. Like, they're trapped. This city has a whole transportation system, yet still people are unable to get to where they need to be. Like, how are people supposed to work jobs, like, if they can't travel?
If our transportation system sucks.
Like, it's tiring. How are people supposed to go to school? Like, if they're taking 2-hour bus rides to school every day, like, that shit gets annoying. That shit gets exhausting.
And there are ways to fix it. So please, think bigger than what we're thinking. Think beyond stop using a negative for everything. Use a fucking positive for once. Find something you want. It is not, no, I don't want a bike lane. That's not an answer to anything, literally.
I think, like, I don't know. I just want to talk more about violence because this is like, it's like if since whenever, we'll say the 80s, 90s, when people started doing violence prevention programs, like, if we've been doing this all this time and the shit has never worked, bro, why do we keep doing the same shit? Why every time people are like, why aren't they doing a peace walk? When has a peace walk helped? Like,
why?
When the last time? Okay, let me not act like it's been never, but when's the last time? Like, when's the last time somebody was moved by that? Like, the thing about protest, like, we talk about marching and stuff like that, like, nobody cares, bro. It's like it's like, they don't even care, bro. Yeah. It's like, they don't, like, bro, we have police next to us. It's like a parade, bro. They clear the streets. Like, this is not protest. This is not fighting for something. Like, I'm not saying, like, we shouldn't do things or whatever, but it's like the idea that, like, we just need to, like, again, reimagine how we address these issues, because what we're doing hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked.
And that's one of the other cons for Michelle Wu's on violence specifically, is that she's done the same thing every other mayor has done.
Like, bro, when are we gonna stop meeting with the
clergy?
Pastors? Like, bro, are the pastors shooting people besides that one at fucking East English? Are the pastors shooting people? Because if not, then they're not the motherfuckers we need to be talking to. Like, they don't know who's in church, yes. Bro? Nobody's in church, bro. The people who were in church left because they started shooting people. Like,
the only person that I know that now does any criminal behavior was once an altar boy, stopped being an altar boy, and now does criminal behavior. He's not going to church anymore. There's no clergy member that can come to him and save him. There's no community member that can come and tell him to stop. That's not an effective strategy anymore. It was at one point for certain people in certain times, but not even really then.
And
so
it's tiring. Like,
it's a con of Michelle Wu to see her do that, and I know part of it has to do with there's that certain subsect of the black community that wants her to do that all the time. That wants every mayor to do that. That wants them to meet with the clergy and just be
the other people that get nothing done. The people who are also not shooting, like those same people. Like, what do y'all know? Like,
what y'all know about shooting people?
At least I'm the same age as these people. Like, come on. Like, niggas do not go to church, bro. Nobody's in church. You're not helping. Nobody's talking to the pastor. Nobody's talking to the clergyman. Like, it's not just about people. Like, I don't know what they think crime is about. It's not about, like, people wanting to have nice jewelry or something. Like, I don't know. Like, we have to rethink how we exist. Like, we live in a society that beats people down so much. They have so much aggression, so much hatred directed at them that it just spews out of them. Like, and I know that sounds hippie, but it's true. Like, and we have to think about how we actively address, like, the things that make people's lives miserable. Like, you grow up fucking miserable. Again, if you walk outside, bro, you can't breathe. You got asthma and shit.
Your streets are filthy.
Your streets are filthy. You see people throwing trash everywhere every day. You don't have healthy drugs. Food. Your parks are full of needles. Like,
who would? Like, to be quite honest, keep it a buck.
I want to shoot people every single day, bro.
Who wouldn't want to shoot somebody?
I just don't. Like, Every day. I think about shooting at least one person.
She's joking.
I don't have a. I've never even touched a gun.
She's joking though, just for reference.
Every day.
This is satire.
It's called.
It's funny. It's jokes. But no.
I hope the police officer's listening.
I hope it's a sexy one.
It was a woman. She was okay.
No, but
looking.
I want a sexy one to watch it.
She was okay looking. I'll give her that.
But yeah, like I think, first of all, violence is not as high as it used to be. I know people, especially somehow in our generation, there's this obsession, and it's partially due to social media and the way the information is shared.
It's because social media is like local news times 10. Local news exists to give you a bunch of stories about things you don't need to hear about, mainly crime, and make it seem like it's happening at such an extreme rate that you should be terrified 24/7 and continue watching the news. That's what social media does, but 24/7. And then also they just make shit up. So yeah. But the other thing in local news is that they just follow the police too. So
did you know? Different. This is a random story. The bath salt story was fake.
Yes, I found that out. I said he didn't have anything.
He's crazy.
Like anything, bro. He just ate somebody's face off just cause he's a Florida man, I guess.
And they made up the bath salt. I bring this up to say this is why it's so important that we take a step back sometimes. Yes, we see people, like me and Malaysia specifically, we're the age range where we see people share, like, RIP to this person, RIP to my homie, like, bad things happen to my friend. Like, we directly see it and we're like, wow, this is horrible. But you also have to take a step back and see that, like, these numbers aren't necessarily increasing. These numbers aren't progressively getting worse. It's just the issues that have remained since the 80s, since the 70s, have continued. It's frankly just the way it is, like, and not that things can change, but we need to, like Malaysia said, reimagine. Do these nonprofits that the city gives money to every year, that the state gives money to every year, need to restructure and do things differently? Yes. Does the way that the community and the clergy and all of these different people that constantly are up in arms.
Let's start with police. Let's start with police in prisons. Let's start with that. Let's start with y'all. Not every time somebody says we have a problem with whatever, y'all say, well, we need more police. How about we imagine that we can't say that anymore? That's a good first start. We can't say we need more police anymore. Let's think about other steps besides we need more police. How about what you can do personally? How about maybe, like, whether it's you want to go talk to somebody like the old days or
like
something.
Like the street workers used to do.
Yes.
I was going to call streetwalkers. Every time.
Or you want to email your city councilor or go testify or whatever you want to do. Like, do something that's not just call the police on your grandson, bro. Like, it's tiring. Like, what? Like, this is not helping, bro. And they be like, I don't understand why Jimmy won't get a job. Jimmy's a fucking felon, man. Jimmy can't get a damn job.
You called the police one too many times.
Like,
you thought prison was gonna change him. It didn't, and now he can't get a job.
Like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, bro, I'm tired of it.
No, what Malaysia said is actually very crucial. Like, you need to stop thinking of the police as the solution to everything. Police, if you look at statistics for police across the country, don't solve crimes. They don't stop crime. Like,
they don't
more police officers are not going to stop the shootings.
They beat up.
They're going to come at the end when somebody's unfortunately either dead or on their way to the hospital and stand around like they always do and come in a pack of 10 to just watch black people suffer. And brown people. Like keep it a buck. Like, we'll hire more police officers to just be standing around and doing detailing when they said they can't handle any more detailing. Like, think about other stuff we could be paying people for. Social work. Because people need social workers. Therapists. Because, unfortunately, people need therapy.
Counselors. extracurriculars in school, AP classes,
housing. Because a part of the reason why a lot of young men, especially, get into a lot of violence and gang stuff is because they're fucking homeless.
So many of them are homeless.
They have nowhere to be, and they get into shit trying to find a safe home.
But y'all don't want homeless people to have homes either. So.
Yeah, y'all don't want that.
But I have to go find, like, my final thing will have to be again a rant about police, sort of, because Mass and Cass, like. What do y'all want, bro? Again, this is what I'm asking y'all, for real. And no disrespect to anybody and everybody that I love and respect who does this work. What the fuck do y'all want, bro? Like, because every time somebody proposes a solution, y'all don't like it, bro. Like, bro, they say they're gonna build housing near Mass and Cash. Y'all say, why does it only have to be in our neighborhood? They say they're gonna build housing across the city. Y'all say, well, everything is happening in our neighborhood. They say we need to make the governor do something. Y'all say, yes, we do. But then you be like, why aren't you doing something? And it's like, what do y'all want, bro? When people say we need to, if y'all don't want needles in the park, we need to house people so they don't drop their needles in the park. Y'all say, why don't we clean the park? That's not...
We need to be thinking,
that's not gonna solve the problem. Like, there's not enough public works. There's not enough time. They're gonna be there 24 hours a day. The other day I say, like, oh, why don't we put a police officer there? A police officer to shoot your nephew. Sounds great. That's what we need.
Or to just stand there like they have been doing.
And do nothing. I need to talk to youth again. I haven't talked to youth in a long time about police interactions, but I know that back when I used to talk to them a lot, like Boston, we'd be like, oh, we don't have as much da 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 da. Like they were so often harassed, brutalized, not shot, sure, harassed, brutalized, stolen from, traumatized, spoken to in an abusive, racist, violent manner. Like, and y'all's answer is because you're not actually out on the streets, though. That's the other thing too. Y'all not outside for real. Like, y'all see it from your car, it makes you uncomfortable. You're like, oh, I don't like this. And y'all think, well, we can put them in prison, then I won't have to see them, but you have to pay for them. That's expensive. And when they get out, they're gonna be back there doing drugs. Because that's not how you solve that issue.
How you rehabilitate people.
Like,
how you rehab people.
It doesn't. Forcing people into rehab doesn't work either. I'm sorry to tell y'all. Like, y'all are very punitive. Y'all like punishment. It's not about punishment. Like, y'all need to think about things from, actually solving the issue. Like, if I spill a cup of milk, what does slapping me do? Nothing. The milk is still spilled. It's still gone. Like... That's the same thing y'all want to do to people who are suffering from drug addiction, mental health issues, lack of money, poverty,
Like the number of
being
people
undocumented,
that will bring up actual solutions versus the people that'll just be like, oh, let them die. Oh, don't give them new needles. Just let them get HIV. Let them get hepatitis.
Which y'all know that becomes I don't understand how y'all spent 3 years in a pandemic and don't understand that if things spread uncontrolled, it becomes an issue for the entire population, especially if it's HIV.
No. That's the part. That's the one part that killed me.
I wasn't alive. Y'all were alive for this shit. But I know what happened and y'all don't know what happened.
That's the one thing that kills me about the needles, like giving them fresh needles, and why people be like, no, don't give them needles. I'm like...
Y'all want your little kids to step on a Hep C needle then.
Even let's take it another level, is that people, we know this, will go to Mass and Cass and pick up women. They'll pick, or men, either one. They'll pick up anybody and they'll have sex with them. And what happens, do you think, with people potentially spreading around hepatitis,
and
HIV,
that person's like, I'm not
and a bunch of other things. Like, that's a public health crisis.
It's already a public health crisis.
Waiting to
because y'all talk about the squalor, the it's true, it's bad, it's horrible, but y'all like, it's unsightly. We don't like it. It's not about the fact that there are human beings living in an untenable state, like, and we just drive by or ignore it or laugh or even get mad at them. It's that you don't want to see it anymore.
You just want them gone. You don't
like,
want
you want people to disappear. And I'm like,
you just want them dead also.
And again,
that shit crazy.
There's so many other things, like so many other times where people be like, oh, these are not our people, and then they say, well, black men are suffering from this. It's like,
which one is it?
So are they our people? Are they not our people? And even if they're not our people, they're in our city.
They're unfortunately our responsibility.
Like we can't. We're not Ron DeSantis, bro. We can't ship them to Martha's Vineyard and say deal with it. Like,
you know what? No, what killed me was, and this is a pro and a con for Michelle Wu. When she asked the state for more support, she asked yes for financial support, but she was asking for support, and I don't think people firmly understood what. At least this is the way I understood it. Michelle Wu wasn't asking just for financial support. She was asking for literal support in handling this issue.
There's not even enough people to deal with it. There's a difference between
financial support and support. And all the state said was basically, we gave you enough money and call the police.
There's not even enough people like in the city, like city workers, to deal with this
and
issue.
Them city workers don't keep it a buck. They don't pay those city workers enough to deal with those people. And I say those people in a bad way, but because that's the way the city workers have to act to a certain degree. Like, you don't pay those people enough to get the people that are on Mass Ave help for them to be consistent. Like, you do not pay those people enough to put their lives at fucking risk to walk around like feces and needles and like violence and literally sexual assault and harassment and a bunch of other horrible and terrible stuff. We don't pay them enough for them to face that and fix it. And keep it about $40 million is actually not that much money.
It's not. Because the thing is that, again, the truth is, we do know that they're really not from Boston. Like, a lot of these people really are not from Boston. And it's like, it's wild that, like, people are like, yeah, like, we are drug addicts, son, we kind of don't care, you deal with it type thing. And it's like, y'all need to, like, because... And then it's even worse because it's not even just a Massachusetts issue. Many of these people from New Hampshire, other places like that, like, it needs to be a whole, like, New England situation.
The way we address the opioid crisis needs to be, like, a nationwide effort.
A national effort, because
this is,
first of all, where do the opioids come from? They don't just come from here. We don't dig them out of the ground, like,
this is not something you can... The city of Boston itself cannot do anything to the max to fix this. There cannot be, like... There are not enough police officers. There are not enough people you can put on the streets. There are not enough rehab beds. There are not enough even physical beds to put these people in. We cannot, like, there's no way without the assistance of other cities, without the assistance of a governor that is willing to be like, hey, we need to act, might even need to take over the situation. Why is it that the governor will try and take over the city of Boston's public schools, but not take over Mass and Cass?
The opioid crisis, like the literal epidemic that's happening in our city.
Think about the things that they'll threaten us with. And the things that they'll support us with. And the only money that they'll give us will be like a measly $40 million. Because, go look at the police budget and how much they spend on overtime. And how much they're probably spending on overtime to put a police officer on Mass and Cass. And come back to me.
I just feel like it's crazy because we give the police more money every year. And y'all feel like nothing gets better, correct? Ipso facto, I don't know.
But we told the police they can't do anything, Malaysia.
Ipso facto.
We told the police they can't do anything.
I mean, like, what do they want to do? Shoot people? No, you can't do that. Like, that's what they want to do. Like,
but you have to arrest the drug dealers, Malaysia.
And it's like, so it's very exhausting. Just arrest the insurance companies first.
For facts, the one good thing Maura Healey has ever really done was fucking sue that opioid family, whatever their name is,
right,
for dumping. Also, we lived through... I was not alive. There was a whole crack epidemic. We have a whole case study to base our work now, and we're failing.
They said, all of us was like, okay, you know what didn't work? Jailing people. You know what we should try now? Jailing people.
You know what worked really well the first time? Putting a bunch of black people in jail for selling drugs. Let's do it again. Because that's going to stop it. Because that stopped it then.
I'm like, but and then the other thing is that again, people gonna do what they're gonna do, bro. Like, we're humans, and as long as we've been fucking hunting and gathering, we've been finding shit that will make us high and continuing to consume it because it made us high. Like, it's... I'm not saying that anyone should do opioids, because I wouldn't. But I am saying that the realistic answer cannot be nobody is on drugs, ever. And that's our goal. Because that's not gonna happen.
Because people don't use drugs, Malaysia. Drugs are bad, and you shouldn't use them.
Yo, y'all want to send y'all kids to BLA? I mean, when I went to BLA,
bitches was doing
two
coke.
Girls. They used to do coke before school every morning. Sometimes they're like that. No, because that's how they did it up the nose. Because sometimes they come a little flowery up there, bro.
Bitches,
you got a little makeup under your nose.
Bitches was bringing vodka in water bottles.
That was in 8th grade, man. People then moved up from then selling. BLA was the one place I knew for a fact I've said this before, I could get any drug I wanted.
No, that's a fact. You want a perk? You want
if
Addy?
I wanted a drug, I could get a drug.
You want some coke? You want some weed?
From somebody either in my class or one of the two above or below.
In conclusion, is to say that addiction, drug use will always exist. That will, like Malaysia said, throughout history, there has not been a singular time period in history where there hasn't been a crackhead. Since they found crack, since they found heroin, since they found fucking poppy seeds, people have been on some shit.
Peyote.
Rich people.
I shoot. What is that stuff called?
Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
The rich people still be off the ayahuasca, like, keep it, because they gentrified fucking ayahuasca, whatever.
Mushrooms.
Is to say that drug use will always be a thing. But we have strategies that could potentially work. And we need to try and focus on those instead of saying, no, this will not work. No, this doesn't work. No, this
is not enough. Like, make suffering for me. Like, that's some of y'all issues that, like, it's like, this is that. Why did they get a house? Because you don't want them on the street. That's why. You don't want them there. I don't want them there. You don't want them there. The city doesn't want them there. They don't want to be there. What's the problem? We all agree. And get them somewhere to be. Like...
Yeah.
Like until we institute the purge, I don't know what y'all want. People it's the same thing for every single thing. It's like they just want people to disappear. It's never gonna happen, bro. Cyclists aren't gonna disappear. Heroin addicts aren't gonna disappear. Young people are gonna disappear. Old people aren't gonna disappear. We're all gonna be here. Like, we're all still gonna be here. I know it's frustrating. Black people, they're not gonna disappear. Like, it's very, I know it's hard to deal with, but like, it's life. So why don't we try to make a life that works as best as it can for all of us? No? No. That's what you would think. But that's our rant for the night, I suppose. It's 9:30. That's not bad. Finally, we ain't go too long.
Yeah, no, we did pretty good.